Hello everyone, Kelly here, where we learn to master the mirror from the inside out is where the magic happens. So I'm not sure where you are in your journey, whether you're brand new, whether you've been on it for a while, but one of the things we see a lot is twin flames in separation, and perhaps you're communicating. Perhaps you're not, perhaps you're blocked, perhaps you're not. So let's talk about communication being blocked in general, whether they're not answering your text messages, whether they're just quiet in general, okay? And actually I'll link this. There is a channeled message from Jeff and Shalia. They're my gurus, my teachers. And they brought 34 harmonious unions together. Okay, so this is powerful stuff. This is just something that just like happens to happen once. And I'm talking about couples that are like getting married and having babies and like really coming together solidly, and not just coming together for a glip and then like whoosh, like falling apart. We're talking about harmonious union where they're coming together with a solid foundation. And so that's one of the biggest things with separation, is that it helps you come into permanent harmonious union. So I think of this, so right now I'm learning to set big boundaries with my family. As much as I love them, as much as I care, I'm having to set boundaries with them because they're not always present and honoring me in the way that I would like. So at any rate, I'm still healing it because I don't want to block my family out completely because they're amazing people. However, I want to be treated a certain way. And so I'm still healing it. I'm still finding a balance with that. At any rate, my point is, so you know how a lot of times you feel like, I've done so much work on myself, I'm doing great. Then, right, what happens? You go home for the holidays, you see your brothers and sisters, or, your mom or your dad, or maybe you end up seeing, I don't know, just, or you see an old friend and they might trigger you. Your twin flame is kind of like that, in that they do trigger you, because what is meant to come up to the surface will come up to the surface to be healed. And so it's really, really important that you have a nice solid foundation. Now, this can take anywhere from, a couple of months to a couple of years. It really depends on the person. It really depends on how committed you are. It depends on how much spiritual work you've already done, and how much you're willing to put in. And so, I encourage you to make that choice to go all in with your twin flame and say, this is, claim it. This is my union. Yeah, this is my union, and I will have it. My twin will have me, and I will have them. And really trusting that the universe has your back on that, okay? No matter what it looks like on the outside, right? They could live in another country. They could be married. They could be, all of these outside situations that we're like, how did I manifest that? Right? Okay. But it's meant to be healed. Okay. So, so they brought in 34 harmonious unions of people that are coming together. And that's just the beginning. Like, there's a whole nother wave that's coming through. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next several months and years ahead. At any rate, the work really, really works if you just do the inner work to heal it. So my point in coming on here today is about separation, is about them not responding in the 3D world, right? Because we live in a 3D world, and so it's not just about having that 5D connection with your twin, right? It's amazing, it's great, but it's not all there is, right? We live in a physical world. Like, I don't want to just sit there and look at that smoothie that's my favorite flavors. I want to be able to drink it too. And so you should be able to have your union, okay? So claim it. Keep claiming your union, because when you claim your union, your divine counterpart will claim you. Okay, I will share. Jeff and Shalia shared a channeled message that I would dictate I would dictate it every morning and every evening for like several months. And all of a sudden, I started feeling my twin all the time, like from that moment, like 3 years ago. So if you're not feeling the oneness, I will share this. I'll share it on my YouTube so that you can recite it and use it and speak it, right? Because when you make a choice, your twin flame makes the same choice, okay? And why wouldn't they, right? There may be some blocks, right? My coach I kept wondering why I wanted to grab these cards. So my coach was describing it like this, is like you may be peeling off the layers, right, of your union, okay? And so for a while it may look like nothing's happening, okay? Maybe you're able to remove a really big block, boom, okay? But then the communication is still blocked. But look at all this I've uncovered, okay? And it's like people will only love themselves. Jeff will say this. People will only love themselves to a certain point, and then they're just like, they give up. Okay, I recently had that as well, where I was just like, I'm like in the gym working out, and I'm like, had to be a trainer, right? We've got to just keep working, keep pushing. It's like the intensity of it, but the truth is I wouldn't have it any other way. It's worth it, I was thinking this the other day, is like, wouldn't it be nice, like you're at the gym and there's you're halfway through this set, you're halfway through this, wouldn't you love that with your twin flame journey? Be like, you're halfway, sweet, I'm halfway. The thing is we never know when the roof we just never know when that like completely opens up. So your communication may be just below the surface of the ice, right? You've got this big ice, right? This is the success. You see the success of the iceberg, right? And the iceberg is like, all the way, here's the ocean. You see just this little bit, right? You see just a little, I don't know if you can see that. You can see anyway, you know what I'm talking about, that vision of the iceberg, right? It's like deep in the ocean. And here you are at the bottom of the ocean, like chipping away, right? Chipping away at your union. And you're like, where's the top? I promise it's there. Okay? And so if you continue on your journey, we guarantee you harmonious union. It's about not stopping. You can stop for a day, right? But you can't stop continuously, right? You got to just keep going. Keep plugging through. It's like if you've got a business, you got to just keep going. Or like, you gonna quit on yourself? No, absolutely not. Choose not to quit. Okay, so so a lot of times that communication can and does happen telepathically. That's what. This is one of the biggest things my coach taught me, is that if I'm afraid to reach out to my twin, then they're going to be afraid to reach out to me. We mirror that. Okay, and so. Yeah, so look at your relationship with how you feel about communicating with your twin, right? Are you frustrated that they never get back to you? Or are they harsh with you, right? The biggest thing is going and tuning in and feeling it. And sometimes the kindest thing your twin can do is ignore you, okay? And I say that because sometimes they can be harsh. Sometimes if you're not being so loving to yourself, they're not going to be very loving back. Okay, and so you've got to go into your eternal guidance, whether this is like a false twin experience, whether they're like really being like manipulative or abusive or emotionally like draining. And I will say, if you're feeling like being emotionally drained quite a bit, beyond just like tired, or if you really feel like your energy is being pulled away from you, then that's maybe something to look at. I'm not saying that it is this or that or any labels or what, but your twin flame union will feel divine and holy, and it'll give back to you. Like even if you're not sleeping, okay? I know like my twin and I, we have the same sleep patterns. He doesn't sleep without me, and me vice versa. Like we have the same sleep schedule, and I can feel it, right? So, and you'll know that if that's you as well. So it's one thing if you can't sleep. Like I was up all night last night, but my energy is still fabulous. Okay, so your energy shouldn't be drained. Okay, maybe a different situation if your partner is in some addictive situation. So again, all unions are different, and only you and God really know if your union is a false one or a real one. Okay. But I would just say the more that you do the mirror exercise, the more you get clear with yourself, with God, the more it's going to be revealed, and you're on your way to your union, your divine, holy, true twin flame union, period. Okay, Jeff and Shalia say this all the time, that one way to your union is your false twin relationship. It's one way. It's not the only way, but it's one way. Like I had my false twin experience in a marriage before I even knew about twin flames. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at all this. I'm like, oh yeah, this click. Yeah, this is like all the things. Okay, so this must be my, but I did question my union. Okay, and I was given my own guidance about the truth of it. Okay, and I keep getting more and more clear. Now, I won't be completely clear, okay, until I'm sitting down with my twin flame and we're talking about our values and if our values match up. Okay, there's in a playlist somewhere on my channel that talk about the 13 different values or set points that you want to look at to see if you're really in a true twin flame union. So it's really important to question it only because you want to find clarity. Okay, so biggest thing. So if your twin flame won't reply to you, won't connect with you, there's somewhere within you that you are ignoring or denying, right? If they're denying communication, if they're denying you, if they're ignoring you, there's somewhere within you that is not completely honoring yourself. So you want to look at, now again, this is subconscious. All of this stuff is subconscious. Now you may have some conscious awareness around all of this as well, but remember, we're not looking for the A pluses. Okay, we're looking for the parts of your life that you are ignoring. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're doing X, Y, and Z that are like top notch in your life, and those are your 3 priorities, and you are acing them like a boss. Okay, I'm not talking about those. Okay, congratulate yourself, celebrate yourself there, honor yourself, love yourself there. I'm talking about the places that you're not honoring. Okay, so maybe you've got a boss who's just constantly on you. Maybe there's some self-discipline around that you need, and love yourself, getting to work on time, and then maybe your boss will be kinder. I don't really know what that is, right? Where are you showing up for yourself in a way that's not in alignment with your truest, highest, and best? Because that's what a real godly relationship will do. It will hold you to your highest, right? Not your worst, right? And wouldn't you want that from a divine partner, that they're truly honest with you and say, oh, you're not honoring yourself here. Okay, and so that's all your twin is doing. It may feel super awful, right, that they're ignoring you, okay? But that's only a reflection of where you're ignoring yourself. So I encourage you to say, okay, I don't know. And there's lots of different ways you can do this. There's like 12, like the 12 parts of our lives, right? Our spirituality, right? Our relationships, our social life. Are you resting? Are you eating well? Are you working out? And maybe your working out is taking a walk. Okay. Maybe if you have a very physical job, maybe you need to do some restorative yoga so that your exercise is actually more of a downtime, right? Everybody's situation is going to be different. So I don't want you to feel like you have to go, do all of these things and beat yourself up about the things that you're not doing, right? But it's about going into that place and saying, oh, okay, I'm having a hard time standing up to my brother, and just going into that little place and loving yourself in that place that you're not loving yourself. Okay. And then what you'll see is that, again, you may get the blocks to communication, but you're slowly going to be pulling off the, slowly being able to pull off the layers until eventually it just, once you get to your core, this is the cool thing. Once you get to your core blocks, then it just like unravels until you're just right there with your twin. Okay, you're right there with yourself, with divine. Okay, you release codependency, so you're not caring what other people think about you. Your twin is not thinking about what other people care about them and what they're doing with their life if they have to change their situation. They're not caring. They're realizing that if they put themselves first and they honor themselves first, that their kids are going to be happier. Okay? So it's, whatever situation you've manifested, you can be upset about it. You can be completely pissed off about it. You could be angry. Okay, but remember, at least this is what Jeff and Shalia teach, is that anger is like a defense mechanism. It's like this, because it's output, right? We think of somebody angry. I think it's somebody like punching a beanbag. And yes, that could be a great tool. Absolutely, to get some of that sadness out, okay? There's all kinds of tools, but the biggest thing is learning to mirror that and going into the sad place that stems from, because the anger stems from sadness, okay? And so you want to really mirror that. So with that being said, join my live Mirror Mastery workshop so you can learn how to mirror that and how to love yourself through it, because the biggest thing people will identify their upsets, and they'll make a new choice, but they won't love themselves in that place that they've been hurt. And it helps to really go back into your inner child. Where did you first feel this? Because you're going to notice that these patterns, again, it's like, I said this before in another video, it's like, first God's knocking on the door. And you're busy, you're watching TV, you're, whatever, you're working hard, whatever it is, whatever the case may be, right? Then he knocks again. Right? And you still don't hear it, right? You're like, oh, was that my neighbor? I wasn't sure. Maybe that was probably just Amazon, right? And then God knocks again, right? And then you're like, oh, maybe I should see who it is, right? Until there's somebody banging down the door in the middle of the night, right? And you're like, oh, I have to pay attention. The house is on fire. I have to figure this out. And that's what the universe will do is, it's like, what is it? Shift or be shifted, right? It's not a fun experience. I've been shifted and humbled a couple times in my life. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. I'm in a better place now. You shifted me to a better place, but holy moly, that was super scary, super challenging because I wasn't listening. Okay. So, shift or be shifted. And again, I didn't honor myself. I had a chance a year before I had this thing to blow up in my face to make a choice to honor myself, and I didn't. So because I was afraid that it wouldn't work out. I didn't trust Source, the universe. So again, it all circles back to trusting Source and the divine. So I hope that helps you guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we'll talk to you real soon. All right, cheers.